Whether you've just purchased the reverse stacking tabs Showit canvas, or you're here to learn how to build this effect yourself from scratch, this Showit tutorial covers everything you need. If you'd like to grab the ready-made version, I'll post the link in the description below. Hi there, it's Tessa from the website Wardrobe. I'll be walking you through the canvas structure, the key settings that make the reverse stacking mechanic work, editing your text, swapping out images, and how to add a fourth tab if you need one. Let's start with how this design is built, because understanding the structure is essential whether you're customizing the template or building it yourself. In your canvas panel on the left, the structure looks like this: a top buffer canvas at the very top. Then for each service, 2 canvases, the tab canvas and the tab content canvas. So tab 1 content, repeated for tab 2 and tab 3. A quick note on the top buffer. This canvas is included in the demo for spacing purposes only. In your own website, you'll replace it with whatever content sits above your services section, a heading, an intro block, or another canvas entirely. Keep in mind that any content sitting above the stacking tabs will need to be set to a higher stacking order, which we'll cover shortly. If you're building from scratch, you'll need to create 2 canvases per service, tab 1, tab 2, tab 3, and their corresponding tab content canvases, and name them accordingly. Consistent naming will save you a lot of confusion as your canvas list grows. Before we get into the settings, let's look at canvas sizing. The tab canvas is set to an initial height of 75 pixels on desktop and 50 pixels on mobile, repeated for each tab. This height controls how thick the tab appears when it's sitting at the bottom of the screen, so you can adjust it to suit your design. If you increase it to 100 pixels, the tab will appear thicker. If you want to reduce it, I'd recommend not going below 50 pixels on desktop or 30 pixels on mobile. If the tabs are too narrow, you risk losing the visual impact of the effect. Once you've decided on your initial height, you'll need to add a rectangle shape to create the actual tab. I recommend making this shape slightly taller than the canvas itself. In this case, 80 pixels on desktop and 55 pixels on mobile. This ensures a seamless transition between the tab canvas and the tab content canvas below it. The reason we add this shape is to create a layered effect between each tab. I've curved the right-hand side slightly, which means you can see a sliver of the previous tab's background behind it. To make this work correctly, the canvas background of each tab canvas needs to match the colour of the tab or canvas directly above it. Tab 1's canvas background is set to transparent, since what sits above it will vary. Tab 2's canvas background is set to the same colour as Tab 1's tab. Tab 3's canvas background is set to the same colour as Tab 2's tab. Each tab canvas also includes a visible service title, which remains visible when the tabs are in their collapsed state. I recommend designing the desktop version of your tab canvas first, then moving to mobile. Once you're happy with the design, you can duplicate it for each additional tab. Don't worry about the specific canvas settings just yet. The tab content canvas is set to an initial height of 670 pixels on desktop and 750 pixels on mobile, repeated for each tab content canvas. One of the advantages of this design is that you don't need to worry about content getting cut off at different screen sizes. The tab content canvas can be as tall as you need it to be, so increase or decrease this height to suit your content and trust that it will expand fully without anything being hidden. As with the tab canvas, I recommend completing one tab content canvas on both desktop and mobile before duplicating it for the remaining tabs. This is the most important section for anyone building from scratch, and worth understanding even if you're using the ready-made canvas, so you know how everything works. Click on tab 1 and open the settings panel on the right. We'll look at desktop first. The initial height, as we covered, is 75 pixels. Sticky is set to bottom on scroll. This is the setting that creates the reverse stacking effect. As your visitor scrolls, each tab sticks to the bottom of the viewport and slides beneath the one above it. Stacking order controls the layering sequence. We want the tab canvases to sit on top of the tab content canvases, so the tab canvases need the higher stacking number. Tab 1 canvas is set to a stacking order of 2, and tab 1 content is set to 1. This is repeated for tab 2 and tab 3. One important thing to note, any canvases sitting above the tabs, your page header, hero section, or any content before the services section, need a higher stacking order than your tab canvases. This ensures that content scrolls over the tabs correctly rather than disappearing behind them. So if your tab canvases are set to 2, make sure everything above them is set to 3 or higher. Apply all of these settings on both desktop and mobile before moving on. The offset setting can seem a little confusing at first, so we're going to work through it starting from the last tab and moving upward. Because these canvases are set to bottom on scroll, the offset controls the distance between the bottom of the screen and the bottom of each canvas. This is what creates the stacked appearance. Without it, the tabs would sit flush on top of each other. The last tab, tab 3, needs to sit at the very bottom of the screen, so its offset is set to 0. Tab 2 sits one full tab height above that, so its offset is 75 pixels on desktop and 50 pixels on mobile. Tab 1 sits 2 full tab heights from the bottom, so its offset is 150 pixels on desktop and 100 pixels on mobile. The logic here is straightforward. You're multiplying the tab height by its position from the bottom, starting at 0. So for desktop, tab 3 is 0 times 75 pixels, tab 2 is 1 times 75 pixels, tab 1 is 2 times 75 pixels. For mobile, tab 3 is 0 times 50 pixels, tab 2 is 1 times 50 pixels, tab 1 is 2 times 50 pixels. If you change the initial height of your tab canvases, these offset values will need to change accordingly. The tab content canvases should remain as standard normal canvases. The stacking settings only apply to the tab canvases themselves. For those customizing the template, double-click any text element to edit it directly. Each tab canvas contains the service number, service name, and a short intro. The tab content canvas holds the full service description and pull quote. Replace all placeholder content across all 3 tabs, and aim to keep your service descriptions roughly the same length for a balanced feel. Each tab content canvas contains a row of 6 images. Click on any image and use the panel on the right to swap it out. Keeping a consistent crop and aspect ratio across all 6 will maintain that clean editorial look. If you have 4 services, duplicate tab 3 canvas and tab 3 content canvas, then rename the new set to tab 4 and tab 4 content. The stacking order and sticky settings should carry across correctly from the duplicate. The one thing you will need to update is the offset for every canvas. With 4 tabs, tab 4 now sits at the bottom of the stack, so it needs to be set to 0. Tab 3 moves up to 75 pixels on desktop and 50 pixels on mobile. Tab 2 moves to 150 pixels on desktop and 100 pixels on mobile. And tab 1 moves to 225 pixels on desktop and 150 pixels on mobile, continuing the same multiplication pattern. That's everything you need, whether you're customizing the template or building the effect yourself. If you haven't grabbed the ready-made version yet, The link is in the description below. And if you found this helpful, hit subscribe and the bell icon so you don't miss future Showit tips and tutorials. I'll see you in the next one.